All right, so hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here and tuning in. Today's conversation is a bit different from what we had done before, and honestly, it's a difficult one to lead, but I think it's a crucial and a very important one. Today, I'm joined by Rabtude, one of our French language partners, and NaTakallam, part of the team, and Bryan, one of his students, who has become much more than that. Rabtude is a teacher, the linguist, and above all, he's a father of three. Right now, he and his family are navigating something incredibly difficult. His daughter, Jemimah, who's 14, is undergoing treatment for leukemia. Bryan, a student with a long background in humanitarian work, which we were discussing earlier, he has stepped in alongside other students to support the family through this moment. As always, I don't want to tell their story for them. I think at NaTakallam, we believe that the most powerful way to understand something is to hear directly from the people living it. That being said, Rabtude, Bryan, bienvenue, merci pour votre temps. Um, Thank you so much for being here with me. I'll just want to allow the community to get to know you a bit as the humans behind the story. So Rabtude, starting with you, before we speak about the current situation, we want to get to know you a little bit, whether you can tell us a bit about your journey from Côte d'Ivoire to Nigeria, and how you ended up doing what you're doing, teaching and working also at NaTakallam.
Thank you very much, Juan. My name is Rabtude. I'm a French language teacher, or let me say a modern foreign language teacher, because I also teach Spanish, English, and French as well. French being my first language, due to civil unrest in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire, my country, I had to move to Nigeria in 2010, looking for a greener pasture. So I got to Lagos through a friend of mine. Then within 3 months, I secured a job in Abuja. Ever since, I've been living in Nigeria with my family in so many international schools, including the American International School of Abuja, the International Community School of Abuja as well, and many other schools. And I've been in international education for the past 15 years, and I've worked for some NGOs and other language platform like NaTakallam. I got to connect with NaTakallam around 2 years ago. Since I've been with NaTakallam, I read about NaTakallam. I discovered they are working with refugees, and I was moved to also be part of that team because in one way is a kind of social work. Try to help people who are in difficulties. So just help them to catch up with life and to help them to keep moving in life. So, that's a little bit about my journey. To get to know me more better, maybe when other questions are coming. Thank you for joining and for watching. Thank you.
In terms of your journey as a teacher, what does it mean to you to teach beyond work, if that makes sense? Why did this become the path you chose to follow in life?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I'm a very passionate language teacher. I've been into this since childhood. Let me say since my college years. I've always dreamed to become a teacher, and language especially because I love languages. Even one of the job I secured with an international school was I got the job through because of the fact that I speak languages. When I got to the interview, not there was nothing that could separate me from other candidates. When after looking at the different CVs, it was discovered that I could speak two other additional languages apart from French. So that was what gave me the job. So it's something I love doing a lot. I love doing it, especially when I find it, I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it, and it's flexible like NaTakallam. I get to do it because after work, I can still find something doing. While I work, I do what I love. I'm still able to earn some money. So it makes it enjoyable for me and fun at the same time.
And you have a nice relationship with Bryan since he's supporting you in this project, in this initiative. But I was wondering, do you usually develop this sort of relationships with students where they don't? I mean, I speak from experience. Whenever I teach, you develop a certain form of bond. I was wondering, maybe you can speak a little bit about that, how it is to work one on one
Yes,
compared
to
to with a
be
classroom
honest
always.
on that, I think this doesn't happen all the times. Though I have very good rapport with all my students, but the one with Bryan is a special one because I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in you know like everything is ordered divinely because when I met Bryan, there was nothing like this. So at the time I started thinking that maybe because of this was going to come up, and God brought someone like Bryan to be there at that time, because he's been very supportive, more than a family member, more than a friend. For me, he's my brother now. He knows everything about whatever I'm passing through, and he shares a lot of things with me as well. I know his kids. We get to talk very well, to talk about difficult things, easy things, enjoyable things, fun things. We share almost everything together. So he's now a brother to me, and I think I have a brother over there. Makes me feel good all the time, and I have someone I can share with. And the way he took everything upon himself, even for the GoFundMe fundraising, I was kind of very surprised. He took everything upon himself, make it work, and I've started receiving a little help from there already. So that's something that really touching me, and I know it's not a coincidence. There's definitely a reason for that, and I believe something positive is coming up from there. So I remain hopeful for the continuation of this relationship.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's really touching. And Bryan, you have a guest of your own.
Yeah, this is Kaya. She comes sometimes. She's learning French as well. But I would just want to say that Rabtude and I are similar people. We grew up in different places. We grew up in different places. We had different experiences, but our priorities are very similar. We're both political animals. We understand what politics has done to both of our countries. We understand that politics is part of the solution. We understand that engagement, real political engagement, is necessary for changing our countries and the world. Not performative engagement, but with the revolution that starts in our heads.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think we're very, very similar that way. And Rabtude is like a kindred spirit, in that respect. And anything I think when you help somebody else, it's not charity, it's solidarity. You're helping somebody else, you're helping yourself. Today we're trying to help Rabtude, and maybe tomorrow Rabtude is helping us. That's the way. I mean, that's the world that's the way we make the world better. Yeah. By supporting one another.
No, I think we all share these values. I mean, that's why we choose to. That's why Rabtude, I guess, for a reason, is working with NaTakallam. That's why I like to collaborate with NaTakallam. That's why you chose to learn with NaTakallam as opposed to perhaps other platforms. Because with all the corporate narrative aside, it's something that builds this sort of bridges. It brings people together that believe in these values you're speaking about.
Partnering with NaTakallam is meaningful. If you want to have a meaningful experience, then by all means work with NaTakallam. If you just want to learn enough, words for your Greek island vacation or something, sure, fine, do Preply or italki or Duolingo. But if you want to have a meaningful experience with real people, then NaTakallam would be the platform for you.
I was wondering in terms of how the relationship between you was built itself. Like Bryan, from your perspective, when did you start feeling okay? I really get along with Rabtude. Like, how did you understand? Like, you were the sort of kindred spirits. How did the relationship grow?
I think probably the first session, really. Rabtude knows I understand African history that is not taught in American textbooks.
To be a fly on the wall in those lessons.
So we'd love to talk about politics.
I guess we get along on so many things. We get along on so many things, so many aspects, politics, political leaders, system of the countries, how countries are run, type of leaders that we have, action they take sometimes. So we get to understand that we share so many views about how people are supposed to do things and the way they do it actually. And most times relationship is it comes naturally. We get along very naturally as if we have known for years. So that's why I was telling you earlier that it could be that, is Bryan and I for this moment, I think there is it was just destined to come. This friendship was destined to come just for this moment. So I believe it's not just a coincidence. It's not something random. There's something behind it that maybe is beyond my own comprehension, but I know there is definitely a reason for it, and it's a positive one. So I'm taking pleasure in it. I know he's a good man. And because what I'm passing through, he has passed through it before also. So he sees he feels what I'm feeling right now, and he knows how it feels to be in that position. So I think that will be another way why we get so much along.
And also, Rabtude's a force for good, in the world. And I know his daughter is going to be a force for good as well. She just needs what anybody in her situation would need. She needs support. She needs healthcare. What we would want for any members of our family in a similar situation, by working together, we can make that happen. And she's going to go on to be a teacher, a doctor, or whatever she wants to be in life. She'll make a difference as well.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the plan. All right. So of course, it's important that we pivot towards the reason we're speaking today here, and that is your daughter, Jemimah. Could you tell me a bit about her, even beyond the diagnosis? Who is Jemimah, and what's going?
Well, Jemimah is a lovely girl, 14 years lady, who is my second child, and she's the first daughter. Very intelligent, very inquisitive, very curious. And among my three kids, I can tell you she's the most intelligent. She loves to draw a lot. She can, as we were talking like this, if she was here with us, she would have drawn like maybe you would have gotten your portrait before this interview finish. Whenever she's talking with you, she's discussing with you and she's drawing you. And she's very good at doing that. And she wants to become a doctor, a pediatrician specifically. He loves to do those stuff, and she likes taking care of children as well. She loves kids. She likes to take care in our church. She always with children, taking them around in school. When she arrived in school in the morning, you see all the little kids in the creche. They'll be shouting her name, Jemimah, Jemimah, Jemimah. Everywhere is her name because she loves playing with kids as well. So I think that's who Jemimah is. She has never been sick for once. I can't remember taking her to any hospital since she was born. I can't remember. Not even for once. The day she was born at 9:35 in the morning. And before 12, we were asked to go home because everything went well. And since she was born, she has never been admitted or hospitalized in any hospitals. She has always been in good health. So I never suspected anything until recently, last year, October, when I was in Seychelles, and my wife calls me that Jemimah is not feeling fine. They've been doing tests, but then when they do this test, they tell them she's fine, she's okay, there's no problem. So we tried like 2 to 3 hospitals. They're telling us nothing. But yet the girl, she's complaining that something is wrong with her. She's not feeling good. So we didn't know that was how the thing started. And unfortunately, on December 12th or so, she was diagnosed for leukemia. They said it's leukemia. And so all of us were shocked because we never thought it could be this. We thought about everything except that, because this girl has always been in good health. And I tried to find out what's the reason for this, for this sickness. And I was told it's a random sickness. It just comes like that. There's no reason for it. So I have to just take it as it is and try to think about the way forward. So in one of our meetings, I was not too good. And Bryan, he observed me and he said, "You are not fine today. I know something's wrong with you. We'd like to share." And then I opened up to him. I told him. He said, "Okay." Then since then, everything went. We started looking for a solution, and then until we got to the GoFundMe, and then now looking for more help for the bone marrow transplant, because that is something I'm not able to take care of. Even myself and Bryan will not be able to take care of that. So we need help to come up with a solution. So we have to look for organization. I thought about who can I approach. I'm looking at who could I speak to. But what I was thinking, I think, look, NaTakallam is there. They help people. They help refugees. Why don't you talk to them? Maybe even if they cannot do it, maybe they know someone somewhere they can touch or call that can do something. So that's how we decided to speak with NaTakallam, and I spoke with Kala, and gradually we started putting something into place. So that's why we're here tonight.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Also, thanks for telling us about Jemimah. She seems lovely. And I was wondering how has day-to-day life changed for her? How has she, I mean, of course, we care about how the family is doing, but how has she taken it as a patient?
Surprisingly, she is a very strong-minded person, just like me. She believes everything is possible. She doesn't believe in anything. Like when you talk about impossibility, is not in the Jemimah's dictionary. She doesn't believe in it. She believes everything is possible. And she always positive about everything she does. So even the day they said that, I was crying. She told me not to cry because she told me, "Daddy, I'm not sick. I'm telling you, I'm fine. So don't cry. I'm going to live and I'm going to be okay. So you don't have to cry." That makes me She was I was to be the one to encourage her. She was the one encouraging me. So then from there, I pick up myself and I said, look, if the concerned person is not crying, then I should be strong. So since then, I took it upon myself. I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure this girl, lives and fulfill our purpose in this life. So I'm ready to go to any length to see her coming out of this thing victoriously and live, to also fulfill her dreams and ambition as well. Her day-to-day life is okay. She's very okay. The only thing she doesn't like right now is that she can't go to school. Apart from that, everything is fine because
What a kid.
she was told not to go to crowded places, and a school is a crowded places. A school is a crowded place, so she can't go to school. She can't go to anywhere. Too many crowds. She can't go. So that's the only thing she's not. When she calls me, she always complain about when am I going to go to school? When am I starting lesson? When am I? So 2 days ago, I told her, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get you 2 teachers that will be helping you from home. Maybe one for mathematics, another one for science, maybe another one for English. Let's start from there. And let's see, while you wait for the time to go to school, let's start with that to keep you busy. So she agreed with that. So I'm currently looking for a teacher to start working with her from April 1st. From April 1st, she's going to resume class with a teacher.
Does she like languages as well?
Yeah, she does. She does. Unfortunately, she doesn't speak French very well, but she does love languages as well.
She'll come around, I'm sure, with French. All right, Bryan, I was wondering, from your perspective, I mean, Rabtude mentioned that moment in which he opened up to you. How was it for you in that moment to get to know this part of his life and his story? How did you go from there to taking up upon yourself to help him with the crowdfunding and the initiative?
Well, I mean, we're practical people. I mean, he has a problem, and as his friend, I want to help him with this problem, just like I know he would want to help me. And our situations were reversed. I have a son with a chronic health condition as well,
Mhm.
and a lot of people have helped him throughout his life. Without that help, I mean, he wouldn't be alive today, I'm sure. So, I empathize as well. I mean, it doesn't take having a child with a chronic disease to empathize, but one does relate. One does relate, I think, in a special way, knowing what that is like.
Yeah, I like what you said before about it not being charity. Could you expand a bit on that?
Yeah. Am I allowed to swear? Look, the world is really fucked up right now, and there's a lot of darkness in the world. But the antidote to despair is solidarity. If we are unhappy with the world the way it is, then we find opportunities to help every day. And there are not just helpers and help. Some days we are the helpers. Other days we are helped ourselves, and we have to be willing to accept help. And this is how we make it through. Some days we help, other days we're helped, but we're always supported and always supporting each other. It's solidarity. And that's how we're able to make it through times like this. And if we can make it through dark times like this, and when we come across on the other side, when there's light, we'll all be better and stronger for it.
For many people, it's these situations that bring these truths that seem obvious once you speak them. And it takes big moments to realize how necessary solidarity is. But as you said, the world is really messed up.
But the systems out there want us to be working as much as possible, as tired as possible, to come home, to get on our phones or to turn on our televisions and to zone out and forget until we go to work the next day and do it again. And we have to think about the kind of change we want to see in the world, and we have to be part of that change.
Yeah.
And
I,
that's where political engagement comes in. That's where community engagement comes in. That's where being a good friend comes in, where being a good family member comes in. We have more power than we think we do.
yeah, I mean, I think the world would be exponentially better place if people had the solidarity you're demonstrating, Bryan, the love you demonstrate, Rabtude, and like the sumut, the resilience that, I mean, you speak about Jemimah
Oh,
having.
Juan, you too. Juan, you too. You're part of this team as well. You're showing solidarity by being a part of this team and doing what you can.
Yeah, no, it really is. Like, honestly, I'm sure, Bryan, if someone asks you, you wouldn't say it's weighing on you. You say it's what I'm supposed to do.
Today we're helping Rabtude's family. Tomorrow we might be helping your family. The day after that we might be helping my family.
Thank you very much for your words. In the terms of the practicalities, how is the situation financially? What is needed for for Jemimah to go through this. I mean, with the documents you shared with me before, Rabtude, you mentioned the treatment is going well, but the final treatment is very costly, right? Could you talk a bit about that?
If Rabtude will allow me,
Yes.
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
we need is a
I will.
pipeline. I think what we need is a pipeline of predictable funding. Because the treatments are predictable, and ideally the payments will be predictable as well. We can't have a disruption in treatments.
So the biggest way to support you right now would be to donate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is anything else we can do on top of that?
Yeah. Of course, like I said when I was speaking earlier, apart from the donation on the crowdfunding, maybe someone, because I have seen it happening before, someone looking for help, and while is shouting, someone just appears and say, "Look, how much do you need?" And you mention the amount. Okay, don't worry, I take care of that. So if something like that can happen for Jemimah, that would be the most happiest thing in my life. That as we're looking for crowdfunding, maybe NaTakallam knows someone somewhere, or someone in NaTakallam knows someone somewhere, or an organization somewhere that does this free of charge. Okay, Jemimah, can you just come over? We take care of the rest. All I need to do is to just get a passport, put her in a plane, and then the rest is done. So that's something else I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing people that will step in and say, okay, now at this stage, how much is needed to complete this, to get the bone marrow transplant done, and consulting a doctor that will tell us this is the amount. And right there, they will say, okay, in 3 days or in 1 week, we need it to be in so place. Go get it done in so hospital in so country. And that's it. We close the chapter. So that's what we are looking forward to. And I believe it's going to come up.
And if in the absence of that, though, what we would need is a lot of people to give $20 or euros or $50 or euros, help us get to that point, but through a longer time frame.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess the idea of doing this, apart from hearing, of course, the story, is to amplify it as much as we can. Hopefully we would find a great benefactor, but yeah, the most people that share and donate, it really makes a difference. All right.
Yes, because right now, if you are looking at the people that have given so far, is people around Bryan mostly, and few people in NaTakallam, 1 or 2 people. But most people have donated around Bryan and maybe 1 or 2 of my students, and that's it. So we need the campaign to go more viral, to touch and reach more people, so we can at least raise, if not all the money, we can raise money that are close to it, and then we can see how to go about it.
Just in case people are, I mean, it's the boring side, of course, but I think it's important. People are often worried about transparency. As far as I understand, Bryan, you're taking care of that. I mean, you have experience in the field. Could you explain a bit about that?
So the way it works is the GoFundMe is linked to my bank account. I receive the money, and then I notify Carla from NaTakallam that I have transferred the money to Rabtude, and Rabtude confirms that he has received the money, the exact amount of money, and then I provide the monthly summary of all donations received, so we could cross-check and make sure that the figures match and nothing's been overlooked or misunderstood. So it's a collaboration between Rabtude, myself, and NaTakallam. There's good transparency throughout the process.
Thank you very much for your all's time. It takes the strength, it takes the connection, it takes the difficulty, and I hope, like I said before, we should take the shiny spots amidst the chaos. We can all learn from that in our everyday lives. Yeah, as for everyone watching, we'll of course drop all the links about the crowdfunding campaign. Thank you everyone for listening.
I
Supporting.
encourage people to not be shy about sharing the GoFundMe. Some countries can't use GoFundMe. Still share it because there are still ways to contribute. There are serious concentric circles, networks in Nigeria, in West Africa, Africa more broadly, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, North America, and so on. There are so many different networks that we could tap in. Everybody belongs to networks, whether they realize it or not. They have their family network, their network of friendships. Maybe they belong to a church or a mosque or a synagogue, or or maybe they have a hobby group. They get together and read books every month or week, or they have a team sport that they play. People should not hesitate to share this within their networks.
Yeah.
And then you never know who it's going to resonate with.
That's
Okay.
right.
I think there are a lot of people who are looking for a way to do something to help. I think most people do want to be helpers, but don't necessarily know what it is they can do. And this is one thing. This is one thing that they can do. So we shouldn't be shy about sharing this information with others.
Yeah, I guess in this historical moment, powerlessness and helplessness is a very common feeling.
Or we're only powerlessness if we let them make us that way. We have more power together than we think. As individuals, we don't have very much power at all, but together we do have a lot of power to change things.
I just want to amplify what Bryan just said, especially in the expansion of the crowdfunding, sharing the links with everyone shares with his circle, friends, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, all the social media platform that they know, and people they know, organization that could as well support. They can do that. Let them know if you're free to share and also contribute in a little way. That no amount is little. Anything that comes in definitely will have a meaningful impact in getting Jemimah, free from leukemia. Thank you.
Goodbye to everyone who tuned in. As I mentioned, I'm going to drop the links below. If you can't donate, please share. So reach out, because as Bryan said, we are stronger together. And we should be stronger, especially right now.